done. So it didn't work a second time. I've got to go into the room where people may be waiting.
Right on.
Because I tried to do the live using OBS software again. You're seeing me turn my head to you guys. And apparently this whole setting up this connection thing isn't actually happened. Oh, wait a minute. It said it streamed 1 minute ago. Can you guys see me? Is there somebody on here? I see somebody on here. So let's go find the latest live. There should be a live showing with me, just my face. You guys can log into like the normal one. Why can't I see you? There's 8 people on there. Are you guys in a room that says that you just see my face and it's live? I can't see the feed. I've got my computer here. I'm trying to be able to see people's comments, and I don't know where to go to find the actual live. I've got to go to somehow to my home channel. But you guys can see me, right? Everybody say hi. Yes, Sandy Sanders. Well, one more time, I'm not going to be able to see the feed. I'm trying to figure out a way where I can actually watch this channel while you guys are, and then I can see more of your comments. And if you're seeing it live on the, here we go. Now it's showing up.
Factor provides balance, being made simple.
Sorry guys, give me 1 second. I see comments now. Let's go from top chat to live chat. And I see Princess Jasmina, everybody in there. Turn my volume down. Okay, one more time, guys. I tried to use OBS. I scheduled something in advance with a thumbnail so everybody could come in, and it didn't connect. But at least if Jasmine tries to jump on the keyboard, I've got someone here to stop her. So if somebody says something I think I've missed, I can at least look that way and read, especially if I have the camera turned. Hi there, gorgeous. How you doing? Good morning, everybody. Okay, so a lot to talk about today. I had a young lady message me last night, and it's led even into today's piece. So she messaged me last night. She's not a customer yet. She had a wall. She said a small wall in her house. So it led me to believe it could be a small little section in her vanity or her bathroom or somewhere in a foyer. She wanted to paint it purple. And she could not get a rich enough purple by trying to mix, I'm sure, it into house paint. Hey, everybody. And I was going to say, of course, you're trying to take something that's super opaque, super dense. There's all kinds of fillers and chemicals and primer in your white house paint. Yeah, trying to stain it and make it more purple other than going into the hardware department, let them do a deep base mix. That's going to be the cleanest purple she could get. What I suggested was that she do a base coat in a medium shade violet and then glaze on top of it. Glazing was really, really popular at Home Depot and Lowe's for a while. They recently, it was a couple years ago when they dropped selling that faux glaze. And it wasn't real. Faux makes you think it's fake, but it's not fake. It's glazing medium. But the technique they were doing was taking color, and they called it ragging. I don't know if it's a real rag or a sponge. Many of you probably know more about it than me. But they would do a second layer of color on top of the dried base color in a form of glazing. And then they might also put a little metallic in it, just swirl it here and there, okay? And so glazing, I can't tell you the first artist that did it, But if you remember Girl with Pearl Earring, the book, the movie, the painting, that sash that goes in the front of her cap, right? She's got that cap that goes in the back and then this blue sash in front. Right, it is super fun, Sandy. That's glazed. And Johannes Vermeer, I'm going to be corrected on that enunciation, 1665, did Girl with Pearl Earring. And what is glaze? What were they using to glaze then? What is a glaze? They were actually taking a linseed oil and put in the print comes off. Yeah, no, I don't mean the stuff that comes off the printed bags from Walmart, Deborah. We're talking about in the 1600s, these paintings were done, and they would take linseed oil and just a couple drops of blue in this case. And after he'd already painted the sash a shade of blue, he went over with another shade of blue. And that creates dimension and depth. It actually makes that scarf look more dimensional because you see color through color through color, okay? Then Vermeer also, Johannes Vermeer, also they said 1665 to 1669. So I can't speak to if it took him 4 years to paint it, but it was also Girl with Red Hat. Whoever had come up with these names wasn't very creative with the names Girl with Pearl Earring, Girl with Red Hat. But the whole red hat, if you go look at that, it's you can see it on Wikipedia. It's a beautiful painting. That red in her hat just glows, and it's glazed, okay? And hi, Michelle D. Almost any, well, I can't say any paint. You have to have a certain amount of transparency. I think I've moved my glazing medium. The most common glazing medium on the what you can find right now, because not too many people are even selling it anymore. Even Home Depot and Lowe's stopped selling that stuff because I guess it became out of trend, right? And you can get Liquitex pouring medium, glazing medium. This glazing medium actually also retards your drying time, which means gives you more time to work if you need to do that. So glazing is something you can do to touch up other paintings that you've completed. Here, I'll put this over here. Just kind of want this bottle out of my way. I have enough on this table to knock over. Hilton Head behind the museum has a 10-foot painting and the Girl with Pearl Earring. Really? There's a big giant painting of that at some hotel. I don't doubt it. It's gorgeous, just a gorgeous piece and very famous. But a lot of people don't know what glazing is. They ask me all the time, how do you glaze? Somebody mentioned the other day that I should do a glazing piece, and I said because Sheldon does great brush work, Sheldon Briscoe could also do some great glazing, right? So 2 things, let's see, 3 things, 4 things, 5 things. So I'll be putting up a sale tomorrow. We have been given a goal we need to hit in the next 40 days to try to turn things around. So what we're going to do, though, the Purely Pigments, I am not going to put on a big, deep sale. I will mark them down 20% off list. Same thing with the Vivid Enamel and the PolyPour. Those things we don't have hardly any margin in at all. And then the rest of the site will get them marked down. You'll probably see it sometime tonight. I have to go in and actually hand change all those Purely Pigments down before I can put the code up. And I'm thinking 35, 36% off. I want to go deep. We need to raise capital. And I know we had the sale on the PrizmPour, but people were really asking why Vivid Intense wasn't part of that. So we are going to do a sale. It'll start sometime tonight. I'll do an email campaign in the morning, and as soon as it's live, I'll come back to this description and put it up too. So it'll be an easy way for you guys to come back and find this. So I want to go over what we did on Tuesday's piece, the resin piece. And I'm trying to get today's piece out of the way so it doesn't confuse the screen. No, Cindy, it's not ordered or replaced. I'm sorry, there's no retroactive. No, 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 this is new stuff moving forward. Sorry, we haven't, no, we would be giving money away. The whole point of this is to raise capital, not to give money away. My most humble apologies for putting it that way. I don't mean to offend anybody, but, so we're flipping the camera here. Give me a flip of the camera. So, here was Tuesday's resin piece. You can really see where I dropped the clear. This was the nickel wazzle gold mixed with some of the golden maple. That color was put down, and then when I put clear resin on top, it looked like these stepping stones in there, right? And I did the same thing in the center. People didn't want me. There's this tree formed somewhere in the pink. It went out. And so they told me not to touch the tree. In the center, it wasn't just clear. And I don't know if I turn it at the right angle. Can you see some of that sparkle violet is in there? Yeah, I can't lose money, sweetheart. Everybody's talking about, I didn't know if you were talking about this piece that I'm showing you. This almost has this, because we did two on top of one another, this starts to create like an opal effect. Yeah, it's really crazy. Now it's not really cheating, but I was so happy with how this turned out. This is gonna be, my 15-minute. I'm going to take that 2-hour video and cut it down to 15 minutes for our Winter Dreams event, because we have a lot of subscribers that won't see this unless I put it in the event. This was a real fun piece. Oh, you guys. But here's something interesting, okay? I kept talking about how much I love putting clear down. Now, here, I don't know if the camera's going to catch it, but right along here where the clear hit this delphinium and the cerulean blue, if I turn this just ever so slightly, you're going to notice that the clear pushes down the color and creates this triple shift thing that's happening. It's happening here. It's happening right on this edge in the turquoise. When I turn it, I know there's a glare from the light because it's resined. There's this extra shift that's happening when I tilt it back and forth. And that's that effect that putting this clear down. Now it spread a little bit more than I'd wanted. The golden maple is a pretty good size. It's a medium particulate, like the size of the sparkles. And so in hindsight, had I used a fine along with it, I might have had more definition. Now, this would be a piece I would think about painting over some. And I don't mean ruining it. People were asking me if I could put in white contrast lines, veining, probably with white, but maybe using now any of the vivid intents that start with the word Titan, that means they're mixed in titanium dioxide. So we have the Titan teal, we have the Titan blue, which actually looks like a periwinkle. I love this, I'm in love with that color. And then we have the Titan peach, okay? And they are a white based, but if I wanted to do white or simulate something that was gonna pop like the white on top of this, I might use that. Now, painting on top of resin's a little bit trickier. I'll be honest, it's probably something I might want to play with off camera and just take my real meticulous time to think about this and how I'd want to do this to make this stuff pop and come forward. The beautiful thing with resin is you can keep going layer over layer over layer over layer over layer. But these colors were phenomenal. The Purely Pigment metallics right there, that cerulean blue. This is more of that cerulean blue. Sorry, I know I'm moving a little fast here. Sorry, try to get this light in here. The cerulean blue right here is that Purely Pigment Metallic Cerulean Blue, just mixed straight in the resin, nothing else. And I like how I dribbled it on here and got that vein down here. I'm loving how the metallics are mixing with the resin art. So I just wanted to give you guys a gander of this. Is Priscilla here? Hi, Priscilla. Priscilla's in the house. Okay, so since we've talked about glazing, I'm actually going to touch up this piece that we did last time. And I know normally you guys see me do a lot of color mixing, but what happens to the piece after you've poured it? Do they all go on the wall? I'll be honest, maybe 5% would go on the wall of what I poured. They're okay. I might like the color combination. I like this part, but I don't really care for that part. Do you guys ever struggle with what I'm talking about? Okay. You've poured it, it's done, and you're like, well, I don't know what else to do. So it sits in a room in a pile, maybe on a baker's rack. I've had several in a baker's rack. And now more and more, you're going to see people touching up their work. Sarah Taylor will go in with a paintbrush, not just the palette knife when she's doing her final touch-up. She'll take a paintbrush and Payne's Gray and go in and paint like a backdrop. Or one of the most favorite artists out there that does what we call color blocking is MII. If you've never seen her YouTube channel, she's amazing. MII, My Paintings. And she is known for pouring and then seeing an image, whether it's ginkgo leaves or she started with a lot of rock. She'd make different rock formations out of her pour and then block out the background. Okay. But she's digging in and touching up her piece, going beyond a simple pour and leaving it there. Okay. Quite frankly, kids, it's not done till we say it's done, right? So we shouldn't be, stuck with what happened and say, oh, well, I'll try another one. Now, if you're trying another one because you love how good it feels to play with liquid paint and get that endorphin rush, obviously, have at it. But there comes a point when they're all sitting around, can I take it a step further? Now, last Thursday, we did this swipe, and we used interference gold. There was an interference green. I actually made kind of a weird color mixed with the opalite. Yeah, you're right, Priscilla. Everything, keep going until it meets your standards. I played with opalite with a little aqua. Right here, I can see where it came through. It came as kind of a strange green, okay? And then we experimented with just taking some of the metallics, put in varnish, and I drizzled it along here, 2 places where I did the cerulean blue. That magenta went all over the place because that stuff is that dancing fuchsia is so darn strong. That quinacridine violet is so darn strong. Here's some more, a little bit more of that kind of that opalite antiqued out, that vibrant aqua. So what I'm going to do is actually touch this up. Now, I've done it with just primary elements on water. Let it dry. I've used varnish. It's going to dry the fastest. I've used glazing medium like I showed you in the camera, but glazing medium really takes too long to dry. And if I can get this dry quick enough, touch this up, we're going to put a little flood coat on top. Hey, Sheldon, how you doing, sweetheart? And hi, Sherry Creations. Nice to meet you. So I'm going to go with the dark colors first, and I'm hoping the camera is going to pick up this detail painting because this is something we've not tried to do yet on a live. Okay. Like I said, I'm thinking of maybe a tiny bit of a darker color right in here where my dark colors are, so it makes it pop and come forward. and then highlighting my golds and greens. There is an area here that came out such pure white that I might want to glaze a color on top of that, just kind of get a sheer color. I'm thinking of playing with my Cosmos. So while I might get a little quiet when I start painting, you guys are going to have to bang the drum and get me to talk a little. Good, I'm glad you got your order, guys. So we're going to try really hard to get this, but detail painting, I want the camera right on top. So it's going to be a little bit of a struggle to try to do this and make sure this still gets in camera. So for my shadow color, my deepest shadow color, I could not find my Payne's Gray this morning. So I'm actually going to mix up a color called Bolivian Blue. This is a primary element. It's a jar, brand new jar they packed for me for the extra color at home, and it doesn't even have a label on it. I just hand wrote Bolivian Blue in here. It's a very smoky blue in sort of the turquoise family. Wow, they really packed this one for me. It probably was sitting on its head. Look at that. You can tell I'm opening it up for the very first time playing with this thing. I probably don't need much more than that. You don't need much. Now I have some Vivid Intense Teal Indigo here. And after I put this varnish in, I might put a drop or two in. Remember, this is a smoky turquoise blue. The Teal Indigo Vivid Intense is kind of a smoky turquoise. It's like a blackened turquoise. Oh, did you? Andrea said she recently brought this color. Yay, everybody. So it does come up with kind of a turquoisey, deep. Yeah, you know what? Thank you, Kathleen, for saying something. We have a brand new group we just formed on Facebook. It's called The Art of Color, ARTEOFCOLOR. Please, yeah, they also make it look easy. I agree. They do make it look easy. Now that looks pretty. That's really, really wet. And it's kind of a big cup to work out of. I have my little itty bitty palette here. I'm gonna pour a little bit off into my painter's tray. I have a little tray here. And let's get a tiny bit of the Teal Indigo. You didn't see me do that. It's about 5 drops in there, just the pure Teal Indigo. And yeah, again, I'm nervous. I always get nervous when I'm about to do something new on camera. I might do it for myself at home, but do it in front of you guys, yikes. But you get the idea what I'm talking about. It's time to take our work to the next level. I'm getting my paper towels and my water and my brush all cleaned up so we can get this forward. And we'll have to figure out the camera thing. The only thing I was worried about was this camera angle. Okay, so this color, is it on your buy list? This area here is really dark. This could push this forward. This area is really dark. We know this area is really dark. And it's not necessarily the depth, but if you add more depth where you've already got depth, right, it's gonna pop it forward. So I'm gonna take a bit of this Bolivian Blue and a bit of the pure Teal Indigo, and it is definitely turquoise. I got my little swatch here. I don't necessarily need the shimmer, but I just really wanted a deep shade. Now, I've used makeup applicators for this. You don't need much on your brush to do this, right? I'm just adding a little bit of color in here. And quite frankly, I have rubbed it out with my fingers more times than I care to say, because I want that perfect little makeup applicator I don't want brush strokes. I want a shadow in there. I want it to pop a little bit. I want that pink to pop up a tiny bit, right? I'm adding some depth right in there underneath that pink. I'm gonna do the same thing here. I don't need a lot, just enough. It's odd to hold this for you in the camera, but I'm trying to make it so you guys can see this, guys, so bear with me. We'll have a better setup. We're working on it. Now, if I got a little bit of color where I didn't want it, that's okay. But taking my finger and blending it in seems so much more natural than trying to paintbrush. You can also fade it out. Get a good fade on that color so it blends in, right? Okay, I'm flipping it over. I'm going to do the same thing here. There's something missing here. It needs some color in that section there anyway. And this kind of pink is driving me, that little hot rhodamine pink's kind of driving me crazy, that pale pink over the white. I haven't had to reapply any color now. I'm doing it right now only because I realized I'm saying I haven't had to reapply any color. But that little bit that's been on my brush, I'll be able to touch up little sections. They want it brighter, stronger, prettier, stand out. Hey, Pam. Thanks for the smile, honey. I don't know if that's dark enough. I was looking for my phthalo blue red shade. I don't know where's my bottle. Was really stressed this morning. I couldn't find my bottle of the Vivid Intense phthalo blue red shade. I know I have extra little bitty and small bottles in there. I just have to dig through the stash. That makes it just a little bit darker. I'm going to the obvious 4 quadrants, 4 or 5 quadrants to start with, the most obvious ones where I can add some depth. And then it also, if it's skipped anywhere in your swipe, right, you kind of touched up this painting. It doesn't matter if this turquoise is going over that purple. That's actually kind of pretty what that's doing. This frothy blue is pretty, so I don't want to go over the frothy blue, but I'm going to see. I just kind of brush out a little. You don't necessarily have to use your finger. You can always go back and just use a soft brush. I've seen Saskia use these beautiful makeup brushes that, so this is a brush that's got nothing on it, and all I am is kind of fading it in to that section. Hopefully gonna make this pop just a little bit more. You guys are awful quiet. I can't believe there's 28 people watching me detail paint this. Thanks for hanging with me. Yeah, you guys are talking about doing sales to support us. I'm ready to start and I would love you guys' feedback. I've talked to a couple of people this morning. Some kind of a Patreon thing, but done on our site, like a sponsorship program where we give you benefits for participating annually in like a silver, gold, and platinum. Oh, is this what you need to learn? Well, thanks, sweetheart. Yeah, you guys, and that's what Kathleen McGee said this morning when I called her and pitched her on this idea. She goes, now that you're making me think about it, I will take my pieces a little bit further. But most of it's just kind of set it aside going, well, that's nice. This color came okay. I like this part. I don't really care for that part. and then we just sit aside. Hey there from Orlando. Hello, young lady. How are you doing, Miss Evelyn? And thank you, Joan, for the comments of saying that this is mesmerizing. I'm glad that seeing me detail paint is mesmerizing. But again, just look at where you want the deepest, darkest, what could give you the most depth to make your piece pop. I'm still seeing this was not quite dark enough. I really wish I had my Payne's gray here. I could add more, just go with pure teal indigo. This is a little risky. I just put pure teal indigo on my brush, nothing else. There's no varnish in this one. And then I'm going to use this other brush to soften it, right? If it goes up into the pink, it goes up into the pink. But I just wanted a little more depth in there, and then I always take my finger, rub it out a little bit. Anywhere else where here, I think it was a little bit namby-pamby. Thank you, Joan. They're very vivid colors. This was a fun swipe. We had never tried the Purely Pigment metallics in a swipe. All I did was mix those in resin, and after all the iridescents were laid down, and I mean mix them in resin, mix them in varnish. So the interferences, you can watch that video, but the interferences were put in the vivid enamel, varnish, you know, blend like a regular paint. The cell activator was the Amsterdam titanium white and Australian Floetrol. But yeah, this is just pure teal indigo I'm putting on here. Just making my brush do its thing, adding more dimension. Yeah, I know. We scrape. By the way, there is another Facebook group that's out there, Pour Scrape Repeat. Great name. If you guys have never visited, Mark Gilday has a great group. And it's named after that exact same thing. How many times do I scrape my work, right? Here's another part over here I missed. That's that part I tried to do with the Bolivian blue, but I just didn't think, I don't know, I feel like this darkness should come all the way through here. Will it make this white part pop more if I kind of give this a contrasting back to it? Just this one little section. Don't want it to get into my white. And then back here, I really like the teal indigo right now. The Bolivian blue, while it's pretty that it sparkles and all of that, I don't think there's enough depth. The Bolivian blue was not translucent enough. Pretty color combination, but. And while my Payne's gray might have been nice for this, I'm kind of, because we have turquoise mixed through his, this teal indigo is a perfect replacement for that Payne's gray. All right, let's play with something else fun. We can always go back to that. I've got my little tray of colors here. I want to make sure I hit the highest and the lowest points. I'm going to put the highlight colors on last, I think, just in case if I've got to go over with a interference gold. Sorry, I've got this big tub of water I'm trying to rinse these brushes out in. I really like that one for the fading, so I want to keep using the same brushes. Okay, so I don't need to have this be a saturated, but this would be a nice middle tone color to add to highlighting my piece. This would become more considering a highlight. Oh, let me try to put it in a tray. It'll be easy to work with. So I'm going to take some Cosmos Primary Elements and just put a little bit in there. I mean, I put way too much paint in here. I could paint a whole lot of stuff with what's left there. So I went a little bit overboard, guys and dolls. Let's get our A dash is a 32nd of a teaspoon. So let's try a 32nd of a heaping 32nd teaspoon. See how much color that is? It's a lot of color. Just a drop or two of that. This is such a pretty pink. I don't know why it reminds me of the Cosmos flower, of course, that what it was named after. But it's a very, very, very subtle pink, and it's in gold. You can see all the gold in it. That makes up quite a bit of paint, just that 32nd of a teaspoon and a couple drops. Okay, so where would I want to put a warm highlight of pink? This jasmine look is really pretty here. I kind of like the patterns. Harley, honey, please. We have someone who has decided to join us, and he's hopped up here, right? And until I convince him this is not a good place to be, there we go. Now he'll stay off, I hope and pray. I have something blocking the computer so you guys' messages don't get turned off. Do you know in Purely Pigments, they are shipping. We are in full-blown shipping of them right now. They've been shipping for the past week. I see that. Yeah, that's Harley, baby. So where am I going to put this warm tone pink? I just have to sit and look how many waves. Yeah, he's a pretty boy. What waves do I want to leave white, even though I don't mind tinting them? Ooh, and I love those little, where is that? Look at this little bitty marbles that popped up in here. Is that cool? They look like little rocks. Let me get back far enough. I'm liking that little warm tone of pink in there. But we got a lot of white all the way through this. Okay, I know this was one place I wanted to first put it, so let's start there. See if we can do this in the air again. It feels weird to be painting in the air. But this is just going to kind of add a mid-tone right between all those golds. That's texture actually that's on the paint of the canvas that dried that way. That's not the paint I'm putting down. If you can see, there's a little texture in the canvas there. But this is adding a really nice tone, a mid-tone through our piece. It makes it a little bit more interesting. I'm liking this gold, those gold little flecks coming through the white. But what happens if I just take what's left on my brush and just do a blush of pink behind it? I'm not losing my gold, right? It's still there. But there's just this little blush of pink that makes it more interesting than saying, oh, look at how much cell activator was on this piece. I know how much cell activator I used. I used a lot. I was really worried that if I'd used too much. Let's see, where else can I put this pink? I kind of like it softer, not using much of it. Now, down here, we've all got this rhodamine. I'm seeing some gold mixing. I'm loving how that interference gold is mixing with that rhodamine pink. And then we're getting the blue from the dancing fuchsia. I think right down here where this white is, I know that sounds nuts, but I'm going to just add a pop of this. And then right here on this side, just kind of add another dimension of this warm tone here. By the way, as a surprise to all of you, I already got the resin already mixed up. We're going to put a top coat on this before I'm off the air. We're going to resin this sucker. That's how fast the varnish dries and how quickly you can finish your piece. Yes, I have that much confidence, folks. Got a little bit heavy-handed there. Let's flip this over. It also helps to look from the other direction, right? What did I miss? So over here it looks a little blah. And I don't see it. I mean, I could go with some interference green and continue it down. But right here where this pink is kind of looking a little lost, like it's wondering what its purpose is, I'm just going to kind of bring up. Now, I'm not going to cover all where the green can gold, where the green can go. But I am going to highlight what I can without covering up that interference blue. And these are just going to create beautiful highlights under that resin. Just when you turn it back and forth and go, well, look how pretty that is. And when you walk in from one room to the other and go, wow, look how gorgeous this is. Now, I want actually a little more white back in here. What would I do for that? Well, first of all, I'm wondering if I should get a little rhodamine violet out. You know, jasmine would work. But I didn't pull any. Here's what we would do. Say I don't have any jasmine, but I want to make something like the jasmine, right? I can take some of this. I think you guys might know where I'm going with this. Take one single drop of that dancing fuchsia. And one little tiny drop, oh, God, look how many drops that pulled out. I don't need all that in there. See if I can pull some of the varnish in the other side. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, kids. I really only wanted one drop. I mean, it is concentrated enough. Look at that. That's got that scoop of cosmos in there. Oh, God, it is so stinking beautiful. Can you see that, guys? This is the part of the job I could do all day long. Sorry for yelling. It's too pretty. So where would I want to make it a little bit richer? I feel like I'm losing a little bit here. Just kind of make it brighter. I mean, this is my piece, right? The public doesn't have to know. Mine. Oh, the dancing fuchsia. Yeah. Those of you that don't know Priscilla as well as the rest of us know, this is her favorite color in the whole wide world. She loves the rhodamine violet mixed into anything just to make it brighter. Well, thank you, Kathleen. Again, we're just freshening up that color where it went. I think I put the cosmos here. So the darker violet's going on top. I've done this maybe in the next event, I'll show you a piece I did. And all I did was take gold, mica, and water and vein it and took jasmine on my finger and finger painted it, and I resined over the top, and it's beautiful. But I think it's across the room now that I've teased you with it. But it's that simple. It's just finding an area that needs a little more love, right? Add a little more dimension. It is your piece. If you've got little spots that came out dark and black, well, then fix it. Don't lay down and accept that it is what it is. I mean, sometimes in life we have to accept it is what it is. Now that's looking a little bit all one shade right there. Of course, the gold is coming through that rhodamine, so I'm not going to mix blue in it. First, I thought about adding some blue to this, but no, I'm not going to mess it up. So again, I'm just kind of going through areas. These areas here that looks kind of black here, you see that little section? If you could see that section right here, what I'm looking at right here, it looks kind of blackish. You could stand a little brightening, right? I want that color to pop under the resin. take my finger. That brush is still drying, by the way. That's why you guys are seeing me pick up my finger. Okay, I think, did we do down here? We got the cosmos. Here's another black area. I don't know where that's coming from. It's just somehow the color did not come bright. And it's dark to me. It's not exactly black, but something came through really, 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 really dark. You have to look at all the corners. You can't ignore, you know, look at that funky white corner. Well, it's white. What am I going to do with it? I tried to put some of the cosmos on there. Let's see if I can freshen it up a bit more. But that would be a corner I'd want to fix. And this just kind of blend that color in so it looks like it belongs, right? That kind of touches up that funky corner that looks like it's just kind of got white paint. Now, all that texture is going to look fabulous under the resin. Absolutely fabulous, guys. Oops, that's still got the gold on there. I need to get that cosmos off. We're still playing with the Mine, Miss Priscilla's favorite color. That little rhodamine, and this is Dancing Fuchsia. I know I keep using rhodamine, the technical name. Dancing Fuchsia and Cosmos mixed together. Any other areas I want darker and brighter? I think I've done here. Just thinking if I've missed them. I know I've gone up one side, but did I hit all the quadrants? The wonderful thing about even the color you're putting over the top, because there's translucency, we're basically glazing. That's what that whole intro was about. This laying color down and kind of spreading it over the other colors, we're essentially adding shadows, highlights, and glazing. We're glazing to add those shadows and highlights, right? Really? Thank you, sweetheart. It's going to make it pop even more once we... So I'm going to go with the highlighted colors. Remember, we've already got all these other ones mixed up. If we have to go and touch up, you can. So now I know I have some interference gold areas. I have some green areas. And I am going to mix up some actual gold, like goldy gold. I can't do anything out without that pop of the green, right? Green and gold. I got to have that pop of gold. I like silver, but I never was as much of a silver girl as I am a golden girl, no pun intended, on the TV show, right? So let's get some interference green. Let's get some of the diamond green. Actually, let's put some diamond blue in this. I have an idea. Since the green, it's real pretty in here, but this kind of has a turquoisey feel, I could get away with interference green and then like a diamond blue, right? So I am going to put this in this cup because I'll probably save the rest for later. So there's a little hefty of the... And here's a scoop of the diamond blue. Yeah, the silver, the true silver is made with ground alum. And by the way, it's probably the most expensive material that we buy right now until we start delving into chameleons, which someday you'll probably find me playing with chameleons too. I'm just kind of waiting. I want to come up with the best way to attack the market with it and not just stick it in a baggie or a jar for sale. Okay, so this is interference green and diamond blue. I don't think I have enough varnish in it. Just a I really want that just to give me a couple drops. See what it looks like on a, there's not enough liquid in there. Oh, I gotta ask him. He may be able to make more, Priscilla. I'll have to look. I know we got more materials we gotta get. Okay, so this area looks like it started with gold. This area was definitely green. This area is gonna get something, gold or green. And because this already has gold in here, I'm gonna start with the green right here in this pocket. You may think I'm nuts, but when you see this under resin, maybe not so nuts. Now remember, this is just the BlingIt Pure Minerals Hypershift colors. Yeah, they would. They're also, fun fact, of course the price has dropped. The most expensive chameleon on the market is $5,400. Let me say that to your face. $5,400 a kilo. That's 2 pounds. That's the most expensive mica on the market that's been around for years. And it's slowly dropping. But let's get back to what we're doing because I'm liking what this little pop of green's gonna do. This is gonna really give us some nice highlights once this sucker's resined, right? But I gotta be careful. Don't be sloppy, Leslie, because I'm on the live and I'm always worried about wasting you guys' time. But these little highlights are really gonna make this puppy pop. So we got a little pocket of some green right in here. Little pocket of the green right underneath that cosmos. I'm gonna leave this gold. I'm gonna play the green on green. I know that's playing it safe, but let's accentuate what we've already started here first, especially right underneath that cerulean blue. We're investing our time. We are, Priscilla. You're right, sweetheart. But again, see how you can still see the color and texture below? But the resin's gonna make it shift back and forth. Now I feel like I want some color in here. This whole thing is just light and white. I may have to put something else in there. Maybe a little bit of that Titan teal color. Literally add an opaque just to get it to look right. So this is gold. This looks like it's got a little green in it. This is gold. Let's accentuate. This sort of looks green. It looks a little bit too much like the white is dominating and all that sparkle's gone. But I'm gonna rub some of that in. Yeah, this is a pretty color combination. Interference blue with the blue, interference green with the blue diamond. So we're kind of getting a blue-green shift, which I don't mind. I'm not mad at. Isn't gonna hurt my feelings. Now, we've got gold in here, but I see a green vein coming through the gold. Oops, sorry. Keep forgetting I've got to hold this just right up. So I've got this green coming right through these two sections of gold here. And I've continued it out all the way to this end. This section's really, okay, so give me a second. Let's get some gold mixed up. Looks like my backdrop isn't really happy with me. I gotta be really careful. I don't want that canvas back there to fall down. We have a little slight wardrobe malfunction in the background almost. So let's get some, same thing, interference gold. Yeah, we're, I'm so sorry guys, but I'm gonna have to do something to fix this. If this falls, we're in trouble. Yes, there is. There is such a thing called an orange interference. They actually call it interference copper. The interesting thing is, Priscilla, it's not really that interesting. We used it, sold it for a long time. And if you mix the red and the gold together, you're gonna make an interference copper. So now I can move this thing forward. Now you'll be able to see my cups. Sorry for my little wardrobe malfunction, but I have a canvas back here to keep a white background for you. And I had done something to bump it. All right, so here's our interference gold. Yeah, the enhancements, when we put resin on top of this, it's gonna be gorgeous. And then here's the gold diamond. I don't know what you guys are cooling about, but boy, look at the difference in the cup. You see the interference pile to the left, but then how much that diamond particulate sparkles on the right. There really are different particulates, Fates. It's real obvious when you see the smallest and the largest in the same cup. By the way, we have those 3-packs up now on the ColorPlay deals page. This morning, I was still trying to work on the sets. It's a challenge to go back through all my videos, see what I used, and then try to coordinate sets that are just for the resin of the week, and then just a few colors that we used that week. I'll keep working on that this afternoon, but I also have to get that sale ready for tomorrow for you guys. That's gonna come first. So, okay, so here's our gold. We're gonna get a little swath of, this has some, now I like that this has little gold droplets in it. I kind of don't want to cover the gold with the gold. What I will do here is put a nice vein of it because it started here, right? Let me see how I can get this here. Still hold it for you guys. So I can go down here. There's a gap here. There's a little gap here where it looks like nothing took. There was no color that took, or it's some kind of texture. So I want that pop of gold, but I like all those little droplets there that are showing up, popping up under the white, the little cells. These will show up under that resin. They're very subtle right now, but they're gonna show up. So I'm not gonna cover up those droplets. I want those droplets. Oh, look at this. There's a little pink left on my finger. I'm staining that gold. What a great idea. I'm staining that gold with a little cosmos. Look how pretty that came out, or whatever that pink is. It's on my finger. That was pretty cool. Okay, so we got another gold area here. Right here, we're going to add another swash of gold just to get a little pop. I like the green and the gold together, so we're going to enhance this green area with a little bit of gold overlaid in just this top vein. Now remember the white corners. I can't stand those white corners where the cell activator just kind of balled up and there's nothing there. And there's a little texture, but under the resin, it's going to look beautiful. You'll be happy. You're right, Priscilla. There is no end to learning this. Now, this looks kind of veiny. Yeah, there's a red diamond. Yeah, there's red, blue, green, gold, violet. We just don't bring in the orange. Again, it's called interference copper, if you can find it. That's what the name of it is. But if you mix the red and gold together, you got interference copper. Mix abalone shell. Oh, what do you mean abalone shell and the red diamond's just mica, sweetheart? You mentioned a primary element for him to mix it with. Is that what you're saying? You get like a tint, maybe? Looks a little bit like the red diamond. I'm still putting the gold here and there. Okay, let's turn this over. You can always see a different angle when you turn it over. I'm going to dress up this gold here a little bit. Yeah, you will get a real sparkly color. Mixing that abalone shell with anything, it's amazing. It's like a jar of tiny diamonds. And it adds that special something, something. So if you see what I'm doing, I'm going over where I put the green, and I'm doing gold and green veining. See, this is a little bit of green in here. I'm going to bring up the gold underneath it. So it looks like the water's kind of swashing back and forth. Let's see, where are we missing anything? We've got dark, we've done the pink, we've done the gold, we've done the green. This looks a little blah to me, like I said. And I know this is risky because it's introducing a whole nother color. You can all yell at me now and say no. Start with gold and cautiously add red. Yep, she's right. Take your gold and then add a little bit of red at a time. Okay, can I make a glaze out of this? This is an acrylic paint. Now, technically, you'd add water, glazing medium. I really hesitate to throw this in varnish, but I'm gonna try and watch you guys all laugh at me if I make a big mess, but I have an area there. That's a lot of varnish. I'm glad I didn't put it in there. Okay, so I've got some pure varnish on this brush, and then I'm gonna pick up some of this Titan Teal. There's some foamy areas that I think would benefit with kind of a teal tint on top of that white. That funky white's kind of not making me happy. So kind of dressing up my foam a little bit there. And the little bit of varnish on my brush, you notice I did not mix them together in the cup. I laid a little varnish in my brush and then brought in that Titan. Yeah, I like that turquoise there. If I could bring it through somehow. Where did I mix that? Here it is. Yeah, I don't want to necessarily have to have the perfect line all the way through, but it needs to feel like this ends somewhere. And I know this is risky because we didn't even use this white turquoisey look in the piece at all. But part of that white looks kind of drab to me. Even here now, here's where we had these little gold speckles. And I don't want to cover them up, but I'm just taking a tiny bit of the Titan Teal and rubbing that in with my finger. So we're going to get a little turquoise behind that, those gold cells. Okay, now I'm just staring through my piece. I'm sure if I sat and agonized over it, I find a whole lot more areas to touch up, you know, but I am doing this on camera, trying to perform another way. This looks a little dark to me. I don't like it how it got that black undertone. It's a lot brighter now. And no, I didn't fall off the face of the earth. I think all of us have a tendency to be really quiet. We start painting. You start thinking about it, or you kind of get lost in what the paint looks like as it's flowing off your brush. This is very therapeutic, guys. You know, they're finding more and more. I talked about it last time that color is very therapeutic. People use it for pain. Doctors are using it to try to reach out to their patients. getting to play with color. Sometimes they'll work with color before they talk. Here's another area that looks really black. I don't see that blue pop from the dancing fuchsia. I'm going to see if I can't take all this mixing happening. I just put a little bit of blue diamond on the tip of my brush here, where I said I'm missing that blue. See what's happening there? We're almost getting an Aurora Borealis look right there. Now I'm just taking dry mica. I'm brushing it over. Can you see that section right there? You'll see it more when it's under the resin, because now we've got a little tack time here too. These are, we've wetted this down, right? So in theory, I could sit and take this blue diamond and just kind of rub it over wherever I want it to be. And this is gonna be beautiful under the resin. That little, I'll do another one here. This also is where the blue is supposed to be really caught up. So here's just some plain blue diamond on a brush. Nothing else, just whatever moisture was on my brush. I just want that to pop where it's, but like this, you can see where the dancing fuchsia's blue is. That's what I'm highlighting right now. There's a blue pop right here. Just needs a little help, right guys? Just a little help from my friends. So I don't see any white ugly corners anymore that are all not painted. I got some left on my brush, so now I'm going crazy with these blue streaks here and there. I know it should go over the blue tones, but I want to leave it right on the top of that dancing fuchsia. All right, let's go for it. Now we're going to resin. I promised you we would resin. So let me get my my little cups out of the way, see if I can get some tops for them. Here we go. Yeah. Always, because this stuff's not going to dry up. I'll be able to use this in another piece if I use it today. If it sat here for a couple days, then the varnish is going to dry up. But in the meantime, that's still a lot of product. So I have another canvas here, that other swipe we did. Had we had more time, you know, or when you're on your table at home doing this, you can do more than one piece. Once you got all this stuff mixed up, right? I mean, I didn't waste too much of it, but still, that's a lot more product than I needed in my little wells. You don't need much when you're doing the touch-up work at all. All right, so to do this the smart way and the proper way, I have to tape the edges of this thing. Now, one thing I didn't point out in my resin piece, and boy, rookie mistake. Okay, see these edges, how they curl up? You're supposed to pull your tape off about 2 hours into the curing. Once it's done, pull it off, and this resin that's come up will go over the sides and smooth over. I have to sand this, okay? So same thing here. I'm gonna tape this off so I can pour the resin on it. But I gotta remember tonight, you know, set my alarm for 2 hours or so after the broadcast ends. Now, sadly, I'm going to have to take this off camera and do this. You know, I don't have a way to sit and place the camera to show you how you're doing it. But what you want to do is tape the side of the canvas and leave a little bit for the resin to pool up on the corners like I just did here, right? Gonna pool up on the corners. I'm gonna do the other side, but this is what you want. You wanna tape it off. Now you should tape it a couple different styles. Yeah, well actually if I peeled the tape off at the right time, I wouldn't be sanding anything. That's the whole point of this. If you wait a couple hours and then do it, the resin's not gonna drip down the sides. What it does, it just kind of folds over and your sides stay perfectly clean. And I didn't do that. So now I'm forced to do some kind of, if you got something better than sanding, I'm all in. But if I hadn't screwed up and remembered to take it off, I was probably sound asleep taking a nap. Knowing me. Got one more little section to do. And I even told myself, remember to pull the tape off. Remember to pull the tape off. Now to properly tape it, I'm doing a really quickie one. Moon Cusser, if you've never gone to her YouTube channel, she shows you how to do it right, and I'll explain it even though I'm kind of just like doing this quick hairy-carry. Okay, so the proper taping, and if I had the camera at the right angle to show you, you start with your tape at the line and fold it all the way under. Then you do a tape that's as centered as it possibly can be. Then the third tape is just high enough in the center here where you get that area that the resin will pool off. And the reason why you do this, resin by its very nature as it's leveling out wants to go in. It's there. Go into the BlingIt section under the interferences, and you will see red diamond, blue diamond, green diamond, gold diamond. They're there, sweetheart, I promise you. But you want to go to the navigation under BlingIt, then interference, and not sets. There's the sets, then there's the color-coded magic, then there's the interference, and then there's the metallics, which is a different type of coating. Okay, so here we got our piece. I've had this secret cup of resin waiting for you this entire time. It should be nicely set up and not too thick. I mean, not too thin. Look at this. This is art resin, and we've already got 72 minutes on it. Really a lot of working time on this. So, ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Let me get my heat gun on here and... Oh, no. Don't tell me what happened. There we go. My button was stuck. I thought I had resined the button shut from the last video. So what I'm doing is popping my bubbles. If you guys have never done this, you want to lightly pop your bubbles, but don't get so close you're going to cook the resin. Well, there you go, a deburring tool. I've heard of those. Thank you, sweetheart. That's very nice to know, and it's only $7.95. Can't beat that, right? Not in the least. That's a great price. Sorry, I'm in my drawer trying to figure out what oh, they're in the bucket behind me. That's what I did. We're going to start with Priscilla's favorite tool, because it not only works for acrylic, but you can also smooth out your resin with it. Ha, Priscilla. This is, I mean, she does, if you guys have not seen her videos, you got to go check out her channel. She is a master of making beautiful pieces and gorgeous landscapes. And she uses this tool on the regular baby. Okay, I need something to sit this on temporarily and get the rest of this on here. I guess what I did was the perfect amount. I thought maybe I had too much in the cup, but it looks like this is 6 ounces. I thought for sure this board will only take 4. I'll have to heat it again. I see more bubbles happening. We might as well get it all out there. A new one today, started hours ago. Good. Yes, Priscilla Batzel is very proficient, and Expressionist Art Studio is her channel. And if you've not gone, I encourage you to do so and go subscribe. She will also be part of our event next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend, the Winter Dreams event. And she's up right after me. It starts on my channel at 11 a.m. on the 27th, and Priscilla Batzel is next. And we've got all of our affiliates joining together to bring you guys a beautiful event with some gorgeous pieces. Each affiliate, including myself, we will be giving you guys, if you don't know how this works, we do a secret word or two that is a clue in every live. So write down those words in the order that you get them, the 27th and the 28th. You have 12 days to watch the videos. 12 days after the event closes, it's the Friday after that. The date is escaping me right now. And you submit on our website. There's a form up there already, the Winter Dreams event. Your guess at the secret phrase, and we will pick the winner. By the way, I believe Sherry Ellis is still in this video. And she was still in our audience, and she was the very first person to win our $400 shopping spree. That was 2 years ago. We're going on our 3rd year, guys, of doing these events. And it's fun. You get to learn stuff and see everybody Taslim is doing gorgeous stuff, and she's in England, and Sheldon will do some stunning brushwork for us, right? And Priscilla always surprises me. Her work is unique and different every single time. She's really a talented artist, if you guys haven't. Well, they're all talented artists. Everybody is. I'm so proud of the people that work with ColourArte products. We have a new lady, Lori Houston, who's joining this time. New affiliate that just started. So I'm proud of it. I've got to see if I've done this right. I'm ready to do the glove thing, but I don't have a spare glove because I'm not feeling like this went all the way around. I think I should, John. Oh, wow, look what's happening with those little gold bubbles coming through the blue. I think I should do my event that morning, even if it's only just for an hour. I don't want to mess up with our schedule, right? I'd like to keep up with the schedule and not cancel. Do something short and sweet. For those of you guys that watch me all the time, it'll be something new because I'm warning you right now, my event video is going to be that piece I just showed you guys. I'm going to touch it up and finish it up, but still, yeah, I got to use my glove. The way I've got this set up, this spatula is too fat. Thank you, but the spatula is too fat. We got to get on all 4 corners. And really the only way to do this, I hate to do this because I'm going to ruin my glove. And I only have one on my hand, so you want to push it in all 4 corners to make sure it makes it everywhere. Right now, any color I put down with water may move a little bit, but the beauty of working with, the beauty of working with resin on top of water-soluble product is it won't move, it won't disturb it. They're incompatible, so therefore the resin will not wake up Even something, I didn't put my gold down, did I? I was going to put gold veins. Well, there's no gold in them thar hills, is there? Maybe I can put a gold vein on and another layer of resin. Have you got a resin comb? You mean like just using a comb in the corner? Or is a special comb called the resin comb, Priscilla? Can you guys see this? See that flash of that interference green with the blue diamond? Phew. My God, this thing is gonna be shimmery, 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 shimmery. Okay, just making sure. I know my table's level, but I don't want any. Oh, wow, look at the top here. See that one little section right here? Ooh, that's a Purely Pigment metallics underneath. And then here's where the dancing fuchsia, see the blue pop up from that dancing fuchsia? That's the dancing fuchsia giving you that blue cast. That's not something I added. That's in the dancing fuchsia. You can tell what I added. It looks like little glitter, green glitter and green and blue glitter. So the dancing fuchsia's blue really came through in that bottom right corner. Oh, I am so happy with how the Purely Pigment metallics turned out in this. I'm not seeing any comments, but jagged tooth edge for resin. So that's the last comment you guys made. Okay, I'm just wanting to make sure if there was no questions or anything. Well, we have to let this sit up. I can show it off for camera for another 15 minutes, but I think you guys get the point of today's exercise, which is, it's not done till you say it's done. It's not over till it's over. You have all these beautiful, glorious products you can use afterwards to touch it up. You know, instead of just sticking in a stack and again, we've all done it. I like this part, but I don't like this part. Well, I did another one that was prettier, but this isn't the same. Well, then don't stop. You can always scrape and recover, and sometimes that is the answer. Sometimes just scraping and repouring is the answer, but if you've got something that has some great potential, why not finish it, touch it up? It's your work, guys. So I want to thank you again for joining me. I didn't give you my name is Leslie Ohnstad. I'm the creator of ColourArte Products. I'm your host for ColorPlay. Please like, subscribe, and share. Got to remember to do the business. Lisa Wyatt. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to see you, sweetheart. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. And remember, next weekend, starting Saturday, I will do my little 9 o'clock thing. I'll keep it short so everybody has a chance to go get some breakfast, whatever they need. Because we'll be on twice next Saturday. Not tomorrow, the week after that. I'll be on at 9. And then I will be back on at 11, but it'll be a pre-recorded live where you can visit with everybody. You know, that's how most of ours are all pre-recorded lives. So thank you for joining me. Check the website tonight when that deep discount comes up. I've got to take the 20% off the Purely Pigments and the enamel and polypore because the code's not going to work on them, and I got to figure out how to make it work. So they'll be at 20. And I'll tell you what, I'm really thinking 38 or 39% off. Like I said, I've been given a goal, and I got to make the goal, baby. So Joanne, thank you for joining me. John, thank you for joining me. Sherry and Kathleen McGee and everybody else that commented. Love you guys. See you next time. And remember to take a little time out of your day to play with some color. Do yourself a favor. It's good for you. I promise. Bye, guys. And it's not giving me the hang up button. Isn't this interesting? Thank you, Priscilla.